This is a video on how to do a snake similar to this. I'm not going to do it exactly the same because, to be quite honest, I forgot how I did the scales because I have several different methods of doing stuff like that. So let's crack on. Let's just got it shaded. Save you out. Let's get rid of this. Let's just bring out this save that I've done. So all I've done is done picture frame, so middle mouse button, picture frame, and then go and find a picture and bring that in. So let's go pictures, let's bring in a B for instance, and I just do it on the white layer. Click, shift, pull, and that brings in a picture of a bumblebee. It must be a big picture. Wow, yeah. That's a future project, which I might do a video on in the near future, just to do a bumblebee. So these are all my reference images. More for inspiration and actual copying. So we're going to do something similar to this or this. The mouth, we're not going to bother having that wide open, although that would be quite cool, holding a stone maybe. So I've got my ring rail out. Let's just delete this a sec and bring this out. So to explain, what I've done is I've got my ring rail, which is the size M, 7 in American size. I've put these reference guides in. Sometimes what I do is also put a reference guide in for the depth of the shank. So in this case, -2, and we'll mirror that to the other side. And why did we not mirror? Let's do that again. Looks like my ring rail is not quite in the center. So let's get rid of you guys. Control Alt C. That puts that in the center. Looking down on shaded, I'm going to do an Alt arrow, which is a nudge feature. So that brings that in alignment. So let's turn on quad. And we'll change to green. And we'll pick up quad snap with both sides. Click. And we'll do Alt click 2, which is, I don't really want to go beyond this outer curve, so sometimes what I'll do is I'll put those on red. Let's put you two on blue. Now the curvature is not quite right here. It's not as nice as that one. It's a bit ugly, but we'll worry about that in a moment. We need to flow these curves up to here. And what I would do most of the time is this one, Custom Rail Advanced. I'll just show you the difference. So if I click that, click my two curves and press enter, that puts in a ring rail in its entirety, going all the way around and up and over here. But for this instance, I'm not going to do it that way. So let's get rid of you. So let's do that again, just in case you do want to do it that way. So Custom Rail Advanced, click, click, enter. Knows there's a ring rail there. and you could do an outside ring rail as well. So let's see what that looks like. So side view, shaded, through finger, irritating, curve, offset, 2mm, colour there. So let's do this again. Tools, custom rail advanced, click, click, enter, enter, and then it says outside, click the outside ring rail, and now it will do an inside and outside ring rail, which can be very helpful. I'm starting to think out loud now here. Sorry, winter. Great. So, am I going to go with that, or am I going to go with my original method? I'm going to go with my original method, but I'm going to turn it to grey and hide it. And we'll make you grey as well. And then we'll try the second method, which is the most common, which is curve from two views. So curve from two views, this one, false, enter. This one, false, enter. So if I wanted to do the outside as well, I would just click that outside curve. Oops, do that again. There we go. Make sure I've got no duplicates. So now I've got an inside and an outside ring rail. So let's click the inside ring rail and add a profile to this. And the profile I'm going for is this one here, which has a definite point here. It does have a point here, which is a bit irritating. I think it was Michele of the distributor for Jonevision in Italy, who's been in my classroom once or twice. Refused to drink my coffee, but hey ho, he's Italian. English coffee sucks compared to Italian coffee, but I digress. What I was going to say is he rebuilt all the profiles in the library and saved them all back up, because some of them are pretty crap. Let's face it, but I'm a bit lazy, I can't be bothered doing that. Now, because I added that to the ring rail here, I'm going to have to go back on myself, select rail curve, keep location, yes, and I'm going to click this. Select second curve, select the second curve, which is this. Now need to add one. And I'm going to bring that over. Actually, I'm not going to add one. Let's just press enter on that, click that and delete it. I'm going to click this one, MSR, because this is the tail. And I'm going to decrease that, but notice both are moving at the same time. Don't want that, so we need to do a mirror break. So, a mirror break. So now when I change this one, the other one doesn't move. So we'll take that down to 150. And I want to take it in this direction, down 150. So select rail curve, keep location, yes. Click this, and then that'll give me the option to reduce that down, do it about 140. So let's just have a look at how this sweeps. So if we click one rail and do sweep one history, click here and here, make sure we're on a metal layer and press enter. We get a bit of a goofball. It's not working. So if we click this F6, we've only got sweep one history. Move over to surface modeling, it's still not there. So if we go to surface and click sweep 1, which is a Rhino sweep, which I now prefer a lot of the times. Those arrows going in the right direction? Yes, they are. I've got a bit of a kink here which I need to sort. Let's have a look at this in the through finger. So we've got a bit of ingress into the finger rail. Most of the times I would sort that out by doing road liking through finger preview, but it doesn't like it. Global shape bending still doesn't like it. So road like inside view, does that make any difference? No, it's still toffee. Road like looking down, no, doesn't like that either. So we'll go back to freeform preview and see what we get. Now the way to correct that would be to add more profiles and see if that corrects the issue. So I'm going to click cancel on that. And now we're going to try inside outside, sweep to history. Profiles are going this direction. Press enter. Doesn't like that. I can't really be bothered working it out. I'm pretty sure it's the closed curve seam on one of these. Closed curve seam is this little beam here. Let's just try that. Yeah, it's the closed curve seam, but I really don't like the surface. And it's the point count between the top and bottom rails doesn't match. There's an abnormality there. So let's click the inside and the outside. F6 that again, and we'll do sweep 2, which is the Rhino sweep. Make sure you've got this Rhino history on. God knows why you'd have it off. And that's not looking too good. Maintain height through finger. Does this make any difference? Yes, it does, but it's still looking pretty pants. So out of all the ways of doing this, I'd probably go with the first one. Let's just try a rebuild on these ring rails. So rebuild, it's saying 32. Let's try with 32. It's a little bit neater, not quite where I want it. So let's delete that. Let's just go into single ring rail, F6, and we're going to go with surface sweep 1, profile, profile, enter. Yep, and that seems to be the neatest. Let's go back to that. So let's just turn that colour layer off. I'm going to do the 2 rails sweep again, just to show something which I forgot about, which is add slash. I'm going to turn on perpendicular, add slash, and we're going to go from there to there. And what that does is it straightens up the sweep, so to speak. Just make sure that we get this right. Let's click OK and then have a look at that. See, that's sorted that kink out. You don't really need this inside outside ring rail in this instance. I just wanted to show you that add slash. You might want to rewind that and have another look at that. So this outside one I'm not going to bother with. These greys, we're going to get rid of you. So we're going to go with the sweep 1. Which has that Right, the snout as such. Let's go to shaded. You could just do this, which I really don't like, but in this case it works really, really well. I just wanted to show you some other ways of doing it. So let's just get rid of you. Just going to turn off yellow a moment. Utilities, show edge on this. So this shows me the points. There's always a closed curve seen there. There's a right angle here. But what we need to do is under utilities is we need to go to split edge. Click here, pick up the quad or the mid snap and divide that equally. And the reason being is now if I go to blend surface and click here, started here, click here, enter, and go from here to here, enter, and then get a lot more pleasant result. But in this case I don't want a snake with such a long snout, so we'll just take that back a little bit and have a look at curvature and see if that gives a nicer result. Not quite sure which one I prefer, probably tangency. Click OK and then have a look at that. So let's just turn it to that colour and hide it. That was the back end, wasn't it? Turn this back on and we'll do profile cap and make that colour, and then we can flick between the two and see which one you like the look of. Let's change the colour of that to its body and flick over to machine. And what I'm looking for is any kind of undulations. Let's turn you on. Let's get rid of you a moment. Let's change the colour of that to that. Yeah, this doesn't look great. This is the thing about profile cap which I don't like. So I'm going to get rid of that. Go back to this. And we'll go with that F5 just to recenter my pivot, because the pivot was out. You ever get that when you're going like this and like, dude, I want it in the middle. F5 recenters. F3 maximizes the view to the given object that you've got selected. So F5, F3 I use a lot. I should hotkey into my mouse, but never got around to it like most things in life. What's grey a sec? No, grey was all of this. I normally have them on white, so I can turn them on and off as I need them. Let's go back to shaded, so we've got all our points back. And we'll do the tail the same way. So F3. So let's have a look at that. Utilities, split edge. So we split that edge there. So when I go to surface, I'm going to blend surface. So this end I would probably want that a little bit longer. I should have locked those. Something like that. That works. Let's just delete that. I just remembered another method, which is loft. So I'm going to click this side, enter. Oops. Let's try that again. Loft. Loft. match tangency, preview. You've got no control over that, but it does give a very nice result, but it's a bit more laborious because I've got to patch that off. So we'll stick with the one that we did, which is blend surface. Could go really hardcore and go for this one, which is curved network, but it's not necessary. It really isn't. I'll show you what that would look like. Don't deal with curved network a huge amount, because everything I do is money orientated now. I've got to get everything done as quickly as possible. Not that I do. So let's have a look at how this would look. So if we split this with that, enter, and if we split this rail curve point there and there, blended surface, curved network, and I'm going to click there, there, and there, preview. This is what I'll get. To be quite honest, it's quite laborious and I don't really need that look, in all honesty. Sometimes curved network for this kind of job is pertinent, and maybe I'll do that in another video. Right, what we're going to do now is have a play around with the scales. A few different ways of doing this, so I just wanted to show you the ways that I would do it. So first things first is I'm going to go to solid and extract this surface, copy, yes. Change that to grey, and then this grey surface, if I right click hide, it'll hide everything other than this surface here. So let's just go through a few methods for putting the scales on this. Most of them new. I used to use Matrix Art, this old school thing, still got some legs, but Clayu's king. We'll try Texture Builder first. I'm going to put the item in here. The image will default to users by name, documents, obviously your name, Matrix 9 textures, and then there's a whole bunch of textures that Genvision Stuller have given you. And it's a case of finding one that works. If you search online, I'm sure you'd find something. And the only thing that I could find, so I'm pretty sure there isn't any. Oh, there is snake. I didn't see that earlier. Let's use snake. It's kind of obvious. Now the first results are pretty poor on low, so just crank it up to high immediately. And then have a look at the direction of the scales. Now, in my head, that's going the wrong way. So we'll go here, and we'll change this to 0. And now the scales are going in the correct direction. So this is one way of doing it. When I press enter, I've now got a, let's just go to plastic. I've now got the scales, but it's a bit rough. I don't really like it. I could take it into Clayu. So go back to Art, Sculpt this, just wait a sec while it works it out, and then what I can do is I can smooth this. So if we just smooth that, Control Z, intensity, reduce that right down, and then just go over the top, and this will tidy up. This is the kind of thing that I do in ZBrush. I'm not going to say ZBrush to all you Brits because it sounds stupid. Get over it. Get over yourself. ZBrush. ZBrush sounds stupid. It sounds like Z-Cars. Actually, that works. Z-Cars sounds stupid now. Now I'm showing my age and I'll shut up. So if you wanted to create more definition, you can use the brush on a very small radius. Maybe not that small. And use negative. That's not really working. So let's try this one, which is crease now. Pinch, what's this one? Inflate, no. Crease, is there a knife? Is that pull? Let's drag. Let's try pinch. Turn that off. As you can imagine, I would be there all day doing that. Let's just whack up the intensity just to show you what I'm up to. Let's increase the radius of that. Welcome to my world. This is the kind of stuff that I do all day long with my ZBrush projects. I just wanted to show you the power of Clayu's sculpting tools. If you just want to have a dabble, it's a good excuse me, segue into the whole sculpting side of stuff. And I normally use my graphics tablet. This kind of thing. That gives more definition to the scales. Click OK. Delete original object, yes. And that's one way of doing it. Now that, excuse me, God's sake, doesn't look too bad, but let's show you another method. We go to transform, we've got smart pattern. So let's put this in here. Objects. Oops. Browser. And there's nothing in here that is snake-like. I think this is as close as I get. Import. Put that in the objects box. Quite tricky to control and quite tricky to see. So let's take this up to 5. Let's take this one up to 6. It's not looking too good. Let's flip it. No, it's really not working. Just delete that a moment. Let's see if there's anything else in this browser, just so I can show you what this looks like. Let's just flip that out. Reduce those columns down to 3. Actually, no, I was going the wrong way. Let's look at that one. Not looking too hot, is it? Let's just change the scale of that one to 0.5. No, it's not rows. One of those things you always get hold of the wrong one. Increase the columns, and all of a sudden it will come. It becomes clear that the snake looks like it's got horrendous acne, so that's not working. So what I did, let's just hide you out, get rid of you, bring out these curves. So what I did is I created these shapes. Yeah. So let's grab hold of all of these. I didn't spend a great deal of time drawing these, so you could spend a little bit more time creating this. Solids, extrude, both sides no. And I'm going to take that to about 1 mil. Turn on my snaps. So I've got 1 mil. Let's grab you and move you 5 degrees. 5 degrees. To get a kind of step. Oops. Going on. Grab this one. Let's move that one like that. Let's have a look at this in the looking down viewport in shaded. Go to ghosted. Grab. Turn on wire cut, which is one of my favourite tools. Click this curve, which is just a box, and I'm going to do what's called a wire cut. Direction normal to curve, delete, input, no, both sides, yes, keep all, yes, enter. That'll do the boolean. So have a look at this through finger. So I need to tidy this up, so I'm just going to draw a line here to here. Wire cut, click. So this is my line. These are my objects, press enter, and then that chops off the bottom to tidy this up. So these are going to be my scales. Hopefully this should work. Let's have a look at this in the through finger. Everything's within that. We've got a bit of a problem there that might cause us a problem later on. Let's just click that and see who you are. You don't know it until you actually flow it. What I'm trying to get at is these sides need to be perfectly straight for this to flow correctly. I'm not going to get too hung up on that. So let's see how this works. Let's turn this back on. I'm going to grab all this. Let's see if I can boolean that all in one go. No, it failed. Surprise, surprise. Alright, we'll just leave it as is. So let's right click red and put it in this box and then see how that works. Right, so the scales are pointing in the wrong direction. I want that raised bit going down the tail. So we've got some rotation issues. So let's go to this and we'll move that 90 degrees. Nope. Let's change that to 180. So at this point you're probably shouting at the screen. Wow. Go back to 90. there's some issues there with this pattern not being completely straight. Moving these by these handles is not good. Let's just reset that. Change that up to 5. Let's change you up. Wow, it's going really wrong now. You know when you're like almost there and then you just start screwing around with stuff and then go, why did I do that? Why didn't I just leave well alone? Reset. So we'll take this up to 8. Take you up to 5. So it's the Z rotation is what I'm after. I think I established that wasn't right. So let's take it all the way to, so it was minus 90. What a doofus. There. Come on. Any advice, don't screw around with that handle. Let's increase the rows. All the way up. And then the Z offset, Z offset. Put that down to about 1 mil. And we'll go with that, although I'm not going to go with accent, I think it looks atrocious. I've just pressed enter. Group output, yes. Output as a mesh, yes. And that's probably struggling to do as I ask. Let's turn off the original surface. So if you play around with this method, you can decide on what the scales look like. It's a lot more laborious. I always have a look at that method. I think the method that needs to be better. You need to spend more time on that. So I think from all that, I think the best method was that pattern that I'd created. You could do the smart flow, auto base, and then put your pattern on this, and then it would flow up to this. Not really necessary in this case. So I think the best method was Texture Builder. And high. That looks like it's in the right direction. And we'll click OK. You could go looking for a better image than this. You know, it's this noise here that's causing this to look a bit iffy. So we'll click Create. So let's do the same for the front. Now you would probably want it to stop there. So let me just show you what this is going to look like. Stick that in there. Whack that up to high. And just because those parameters that are here worked on that one doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work on this one. So tiling in the X and Y is 6, so let's reduce that down to 4 and 4. Let's rotate you around 90. 180, sorry. Let's decrease that again. And again. Put that one down to 2 as well. You're just obviously looking for scales that are of a similar size. Let's just take that up to 3. I think that works. But the eyes would go here, and the scales on the face of a snake tends to go a lot smoother. Actually, I think we will go with that. I'm just going to show you something else that I would do. Notice that this is wrapping all the way around. And the reason being is I didn't extract that surface, and I wouldn't want that like that. So let's flick to grey a moment. Solids, extract surface, extract here, copy yes, enter. Make sure that's on grey, turn you off, put you in here, whack you up to high, and we'll go with that. Enter. Let's turn you back on. So let's explode you. And we're going to go with this surface, this mesh, this cap. Go to Tools, and we'll try a mesh fix on that. Delete input object on, enter. The thing that I haven't done while I'm waiting for this bad boy to encode, I didn't do the bottom of the shank, but it would be a similar MO. You could do the custom rail advanced and do the whole thing. There's some margin that, so I'm just going to stop here and come back in a second. Right, let's go back quite a bit. Let's get rid of most of this. Grab that profile there, add, and it's not connected. Wake up, dude. Let's increase, do that down to 3 mil. Easy as set and done. Delete you, delete you, delete you. Custom rail advanced, click, enter. Enter. Make you a colour I can see better. And we're going to go for sweep 1. And click all my profiles. I'm feeling, whoops, Houston, we have a problem. Must have split that in the last. So let's try that again. Sweep 1. just hate duplicates. It seems to have worked. Okay. I just want to try that again, because something I really like to use when I get a chance to use it in Suite 1. I'll show you in a sec when I get it back up. Oops. Through finger is this road liking through finger. Nah, not working today. What it does is it stops ingression into the finger rail. There'll be a reason. I just can't be bothered thinking about what the reason is. So we're going to go with this. We'll flick this to this colour, and we'll extract this surface. Copy. No. Because then this is going to be a different colour to the underneath. Then I'm going to go, let's just put that snout in. So, can you remember how I did that last time? So we need to split this edge at the quad or the mid snap, and we'll do a blend like that. Decrease that snout back a bit. But this is the surface I'm going to put my scales on. So that was art, and it is this one, texture builder. Let's put that in there. Let's crank this up to high and just see how this looks. Now I'm doing the whole snake front to back. So we'll try a tile of 4 by 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 5. Decrease that one down, 6. Let's increase that one up. It's just a case of playing around until you get the look that works for you. I'm going to go with that one. I'll be here all day playing around with it. Press enter. Let's just turn you off a moment because we haven't done this outer yet. Let's just change this mesh to grey and then turn that off. So we need to do that blend, and we're going to blend. Notice that edge is not split, so we need to split this edge, the end snap, and we're going to do a blend, and we'll just go with that. That works. Let's open this back up. So I'm going to grab this bottom surface, this, and this. See if we can do a mesh fix on that to fix that all together. And then what we're going to do is take that into Clayo and do a bit of tidying up. I'm not going to complete it in the video. Is this working? No. I've not put a mouth in it. I think you can get a bit too hung up on detail on these things. I'm prone to this. You know, I'll put feathers in something that's only about 2 mil high. You know, if I was doing a robin, I did a robin a couple of days ago, using Clayo, which is one of my favourite tools outside of ZBrush, and I even sculpted it in Clayo as well, because I think learning ZBrush is a thankless task at the best of times. The only time I would consider learning ZBrush is if you're off sick for 6 months, maybe a year, to get the best out of ZBrush. That is one complicated item. So I'm just going to stop this while this is encoding. Okay, it's finished and looks pretty poor, to be quite honest. But I suppose that is good in some ways. It's nowhere near as good as the final thing that I did. When I originally did this snake, I had no plans to do a video on how to construct that, and thus, you know, I stick my music on my headphones and I just bang away until I get something that looks cool. What I did with the head here to get this sharpness was cut and trim and then smooth out with Clayo Sculpt. So this was quite a few hours of goofing around playing with it, but let's have a play. That is shockingly bad, but hey ho. Art, Sculpt, and let's have a go at smoothing this a sec. Oops. Yay, that's really smooth. Let's just get rid of you. Oh, I can't get rid of you while I'm in the middle of this. Hey ho. Right, let's just have a look at smooth a sec. Reduce the intensity right down. See, even that really low intensity is too much. So I just want to see what I've got on the head here, which is looking pretty junk. The subdivision and remesh does crash out. I think it's maybe because I give it too hard a time. Remesh resolution. Let's just remesh that. And yeah, it's gone wrong. Let's try that again. Thought I was going to crash that. Clayo Sculpt. Just increase that and then do a subdivision. And then let's have a look at smooth. Let's dock you. dock you there. Decrease that right down. I think what I might have done on that original one, thinking about it, is I only did the scales from there back and then left this schnoz, the end, without. So let's have a look at what I can do. What is this tool? Drag. That's not really going to help me. Whee! So all I really came in here to do was just to show you me smoothing this out. Let's just increase that intensity. I think increasing that subdivision levels has worked. So all I'm doing is just going over and smoothing it out. I think what I did, if I remember rightly, is I went over the whole thing, smoothing it out, not too much, and then went into pen. Is it called pen? Brush. Negative. It's quite a small radius. Just remember, if you zoom in that radius, it screws around with it. See, I've got that on negative, which cuts away. Just remember, there's a lot of scales in this. It's just working out the best route. Having those two snakes on was not helping because my pivot's all messed up. So what I was going to show you is what I did earlier, which was crease. Was it crease or pinch? We'll try pinch. I think it was crease I did. Increase the radius. And this can sharpen up your scales. So that's how I did the snake. Chopping off the nose as such. Let's just have a look at that. It's unfair that I don't show you what I did on that. Try it on plastic. So what I did was drew a shape similar to that. Grab those two curves, join them, solids, and just created a cutter. Put that into place. Looking down, we'll just mirror that from, let's say, there. Just going to move that over a little bit. Just now rotate that one over there a little bit. And then mesh these two. Maximum edge length 0.1, which is what I tend to do. Might have to mesh fix that, but we'll try it without. Mesh, Boolean difference with these two. No, it didn't work. I think it's because this is messed up. So what we'd have to do is mesh fix that. Let's do a smaller mesh tolerance, 0.01. Enter. I've only done that so I can get this mesh repaired quicker. Otherwise it can take quite a while. And I haven't got a slouchy computer. My computer's pretty damn quick. I found in Rhino 6 it's a lot quicker. So let's do that mesh. Boolean difference of this with this. Enter. Just do it all. No, it's still not working. Maybe I should have done it earlier when it was still NURBS. And I probably did that as NURBS and then fixed it. But what I would do is use that to chop off the sides. Which wouldn't be a problem. And then putting the stones in it was just either do it before it's mesh or do it whilst it's NURBS, and offer them up, and away you go. Right, hope that was of interest to some of you. See you again soon. Next video is probably going to be on Pave, everything to do with Pave.